I'll see you in 24 hours.
You're gonna do great.
The next time we see each other, we're gonna be in a new country,
Yes.
in a new city.
And I'll have a new passport.
Thank God. Love you. Good night. On my own again. I am actually on my own again. I'm partly excited, but partly nervous and just a little anxious because it's been a big week of transitioning into like traveling and just being more uncomfortable, and I have found myself to be a lot more anxious than I expected. And I've totally been able to figure out some ways to like manage it day to day. But this feels like a big and in some ways good experience to just be like, okay, I can do this on my own. I can get there. I can figure it out if need be. You know what I mean? So come along and we're gonna make it to Portugal tonight. Yes. We've spent our entire 20s being best friends.
We survived university together, traveled together,
Moved to a foreign country together, survived long distances apart,
and made it back together during a global pandemic.
all while making each other laugh along the way.
If we've learned one thing in our 20s, it's that having amazing friendships is everything.
And we want to say bon voyage to this decade in an unforgettable way.
So, since we've been besties for the last 10 years,
Over the next 10 months, we're going to try and finish visiting 30 countries before our 30th birthdays. And we couldn't do it without bringing you along. We're going to document the whole process, so grab your bestie and get ready for an amazing adventure. MacKenzie told me not to go to the front door because we had to put the hotel room under my name because she doesn't have her passport at the moment. And I couldn't go at the side door because it was locked. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just have to run through the front door. And there was someone at the desk and I just was like, with all my bags on, don't mind me not checking out, just leaving. I believe it's 2 metro trains to get to the bus stop. So shouldn't be too bad, about 40 minutes. And right now it's like 10:30. So my bus leaves at midnight. This is my 3rd escalator down. How far down is this line? 4th. Stop. Made it here before the platform is even showing. Just made it to the station. Came outside for a second because it was so hot, and it is very hot out here too. So this doesn't help much. Now that I'm here, I'm feeling a lot better. Like I said, I've been anxious this week just because it's been honestly a bit of an adjustment jumping back into traveling and like a transition to get back into that travel lifestyle where you have to figure everything out and you have to translate everything, and any question you have you got to figure out and sort of look up on the spot. So I'm glad that I'm doing this because I have found myself much more nervous this week than I expected I would have been. And yeah, this is really good practice to get back into it. And I'm not exactly sure what area I'm in, so I'm actually gonna go back inside now. There is still no gate listed and the departure's in 10 minutes, but I'm at, I think, the right gates for Flixbus, and there's other people here, so I hope. All right, we have made it to a pit stop restaurant. What time is it? It's like 3:30 in the morning. I actually was able to like close my eyes, get a little sleep. This bus is actually quite comfortable. Oh, which is so nice. I usually find it so hard to sleep on planes and buses and stuff. Good morning, welcome to Lisbon. I do not know how much sleep I actually got last night, but I definitely got some, which is an improvement from you when traveling on like buses and planes. I usually find it so hard to fall asleep. It's a lot chillier here than it was in Spain. It feels like cool, although it is early in the morning. But yeah, I was feeling like I maybe overpacked on any sort of long sleeve layer at all in Spain, and here I'm like glad I have it. So first things first, I'm going to try to get to the hostel. I think I'm going to just try to take an Uber or a taxi because I've heard they're very inexpensive in Portugal. And with all this stuff, I don't know if I'm ready to take 2 trains. I think these are the trains and we're just going with it. Also, they have all these cute little coffee shops in the stations. Like, I'm obsessed. San Sebastian, that's where I'm headed. They're playing Taylor Swift. This is a good sign. Alright, I just got off the first train and I'm headed to the Green Line, Linha Verde next. So far it's been pretty easy to navigate. I'm with all the commuters because it's 7 a.m. Everything is super clearly labeled, which is awesome. Just following the crowds. It's honestly, I knew this would happen, but it's crazy that when you do one thing, you're like, damn, I can do it, I'm gonna do the rest. Because I got off the bus and I was like, you know what, if I see the trains, I'm gonna do the trains. So right there, I jumped on and I feel like I'm killing it. It's kind of similar to the Spanish metro, but if anything, a lot more signage and like more signage when you're on the train of what stop you're at. So that's super helpful. Sometimes you do have to just like do things again to remind yourself why you like it. Like I love this sort of thing, navigating a new metro and like figuring out the way to get there. We made it, just a few more minutes walk and I should be at the hostel. Sunset Destination Hostel. Is this on? We officially made it. I checked into the hostel. Look how beautiful this is. The room is full, so as I expected, I won't be able to check in until 3 p.m. Oh my god, I just noticed this. Let me turn you around. Wow. I'm gonna have my little Spanish Gatorade and then honestly I'll probably like wander to find a coffee and then find somewhere to work for the day until MacKenzie gets here. This whole experience so far, I mean, I could have told you this, but I was in the throngs of my anxiety, so I couldn't have. But this whole experience, like, it just proves you gotta do things to prove it to yourself. Because after doing that bus, I'm like, why was I scared? That was easy. Like, I just got on the bus, traveled here, and then figured out my way on the metro even. Like, it's easier than you think. Even if it's harder than you think it might have been, you get through it, and then you realize you can do things that are that hard. That's my cheesy lesson of the day, as I look out at the water. So, I made it to a cafe to work. I'm excited I found a place where I can use my laptop because so many coffee shops in Europe don't allow laptops. They say, here we just drink coffee, we don't do work. And even at this one, only particular tables you can use your laptop at. And they knew what they were doing because the tables you're allowed are further back in this cafe and the service is not great. So they knew what they were doing here. The coffee is incredible. I went on a walk to find some hills of Lisbon, and did I ever. That's one half. This is the next half. I specifically just wanted to go on a little walk to explore and like get lost a little bit, and not actually, but just, you know, explore around. And how quickly you are in these little winding streets and alleys. This is actually magical. I'm back at the hostel. MacKenzie is gonna arrive so soon. And if there's one thing that I can take away from this experience, it's how amazing this feels in the end and how proud I am of myself and how right it was to do this thing that felt so scary and made me feel anxious. I honestly am like, I want to do it again. Like, you get that feeling that you're capable of accomplishing things or facing scary things. It makes you want to do it more. And it's like, where can I travel to next alone? What challenge and what adventure can I set out for myself next? That is such a fulfilling and confidence building feeling. And I just want to hold on to that and remember all those positive affirmations. The next time that I'm feeling a bit anxious or the next time that I'm feeling nervous, not to completely like disregard those feelings, but just to remind myself that it's good to feel those things in the moment. And once you do it, you'll realize you're so capable of doing it. This feels like a very deep metaphor of me taking a night bus alone. It just has been years since I've traveled alone in such a foreign capacity. After this sort of first week of travel, I was a bit shocked how like shaken I felt and how like unsteady I felt. And I never would have thought before that doing this challenging experience would make me feel more stable. It makes me feel so much more stable and just like honestly excited for the rest of this trip with MacKenzie because I feel less anxious and I feel like I'm gonna figure it out and she's gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out together, and when we are alone we'll figure it out. When we're together we're gonna figure it out together. It will be even better. It honestly has made me just like so motivated and so excited, and I'm really proud of myself that I decided to stick with it and take the bus alone. Now we're here in Portugal, we're here in Lisbon, and I can't wait for MacKenzie to get here. This really became a metaphor for me and I faced it, so bam. We made it back together. Sorry, I hit you hard in the head. Doors made for biddy size.